Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I have a weird little thing here. I have a mechanic, and my mechanic has a lady doing his books, accounting I think it's called, and she does that from home. And so she has a PC that she remotely connects to the company and do the accounting, the invoices and the credit and debit and all of that good stuff. And she was complaining that her PC had become slow. And so yeah, I helped my mechanic out, he helps me out, and yeah, we decided that he should get her PC and I should have a look at it. And our idea was that Windows might be slowing it down, so we were going to investigate if the PC had an SSD, because that would be really cheap and easy to just replace the hard drive with an SSD. So yeah, we got the PC, we took the cover off, or he took the cover off, and found that it did not have an SSD. So I suggested that he should go out and get an SSD, and these Samsung Evo SSDs is way more than you need when you're just doing accounting and doing Windows and working in a 20-year-old DOS program. So awesome, right? So I got the PC, I'm gonna transfer the data over to this SSD so that nothing else has changed, and we're gonna do that as well. But then we found something interesting, why this is even worth doing a video on. So let's go see the PC. Okay, here is the PC. It's an Hewlett-Packard and it's an DC7800. It's an old machine, but for that accounting stuff it should be good. CD-ROM drive, it has some USB ports, on-off, keyboard thingy, whatever, around the back. Yeah, it has the usual ports and the power supply and nothing much. We don't need much for this job, but yeah, we were gonna upgrade it anyway with this SSD just to very easily get some more speed out of this. But when I took the cover off, here I found something interesting. Here we are. I thought that, well, it's a little dusty in here, so wonder how the fan is doing. So I took this cover off, and we can kind of see that the processor cooler here is totally filled up with gunk. Look at that. No wonder that this is running slow. This CPU is not able to breathe. Slowly, as this has gunked up with dust, it has, well, overheated and wouldn't be able to do much. So the Intel CPU would have been shutting down and just not working very fast because it had to cool down as much as it could. That way, yeah, we can definitely start by cleaning that. I was told that this was in a bedroom, so much of this dust is probably from pillows and stuff. So there's a nice little layer of that. I actually shared a picture of this on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I would very much suggest that you do that. I really enjoy sharing stuff with you guys there, and you will have seen this weeks in advance. That's the reason we are outside, actually, because I don't want that crap inside my house. So we're gonna dust it off out here. And I'm actually also gonna close the door there, and we can't hear the washing machine as clearly. So I have extended the compressor so I can give this a good blowjob outside. So I think I'm gonna remove the dust, and then we're gonna try and see what CPU is in here. We might be able to do something. I think I have a range of better CPUs probably laying around. So yeah, let's clean this a little bit. I don't like this one as much. This one's better. Fans like this, there's a fan here and there's a fan there. It's often a bad idea to spin them up, because they can act as a generator and they will be able to send a current the opposite way into the system board. So when you're cleaning it, it's a good idea to put a finger in it when it's not running, and then, yeah, removing the dust. I just have a tiny little compressor down there, so we will wait for recharge. So while the compressor is recharging, we could just check the CPU here, see what's in here. I can actually hear that compressor has recharged, but yeah, let's take this out. We can probably clean it better when it's out. I might have a better CPU in stock that we can put in here. And if it has been heating up like this, we might also want to replace the cooling on it. Yeah, it's nasty. So let's take that out and take the CPU out. There, close this. This is actually not bad, it's still gooey. This little thing came out from underneath the system board. I don't think it's a good idea to have that rolling around down there. I have no idea where that came. Probably somewhere like that. I don't know. Weight reduce that by that much. The camera needed charging, so we have been away for a little bit. I found that this CPU is actually not bad. It's an old CPU for sure. Oh, it's an Intel Core 2 E8400, and this is a dual core 3 GHz. It's fine for this, so I'm not gonna replace that. 3 GHz is good. I know that some of these machines were originally delivered with 1.86 or 1.84 GHz processors, and in that case I thought that, well, we might replace that. We're gonna give this some cooling compounds. This is of course the exact way to do that, and that is absolutely the right amount. And we're gonna put the heatsink back on. This computer is living in a smoker home. I can smell that. So that's a little bit important, because the dust kind of, with the nicotine in the air, it glues itself to the computer components down here, and that's why it becomes even worse. So yeah. CPU cooler back in. Connect the plug here. Let's check one of these RAM blocks. How big is that? 1 GB. So it's a 4 GB system. I'm guessing they look very similar. Air buffalo. I've cleaned that too. So I'll put that back in. There. We have some connections. This is awesome. There's a room for another hard drive. But moving in this SSD, I'm just gonna steal the connections from the CD-ROM drive and temporarily use that while I have two hard drives connected, while copying data from one to the other. So we have a Hewlett-Packard computer, we have a Philips monitor, we have a Dell keyboard, and we have a Lenovo mouse. Oh yeah, and we're putting in a Samsung SSD. Dusty one. Let's get this up. This has some kind of a thief-proof, or make sure that this is new protection tape on here. I had a lot of trouble. And inside, nothing more there. We have the tiny manual, nothing else in there, and we have this Samsung solid-state SSD, which is what we really need. This is 250 gigabytes. The hard drive that is in the system is 160 gigabytes, so this is more than enough to replace that one. Plus, I don't expect that much of the hard drive in there is actually being used at all. So I will be surprised if there is more than 40 gigabyte used. Oh, this system is from 2008, so brand new from, well, it's only 11 years old. Wouldn't you know? Here is the Western Digital that I said that's actually from 2011, so this must have been replaced, and it's 160 gigabytes, so we must have put in a new drive at some point. I do believe that these computers came with drives smaller than this. Never mind, we're gonna be moving the data over from this and to the SSD. We're gonna borrow these connectors from the CD-ROM drive. Thank you very much. there. And we are just gonna mount this on top. Let's see, that goes that way. There, and the power connector. There. And we're good to go, right? So in this tiny little manual, which is very sparse in all ways, but there's a couple of links that you can go and get to take full advantage of Samsung SSD. It is recommended to install Samsung Magic something, and to data migrate. Go get the data migration, and there's a link to Samsung's homepage where you can get that. So I did that, and I installed it on a SanDisk. So yeah, another brand. But we're just gonna do this from inside Windows, so we're gonna put it there, and we're just gonna power this on. It recognizes some kind of a change, so we will saving changes. Yeah, sure. I'm guessing that it will boot Windows, and we can go do our thing. Looks like Windows 7. It is Windows 7, professional and all. No expense spared. We're in, and it is running Windows 7, Service Pack 1, E8400 CPU, 3 GHz, 4 GB of RAM. This is a 32-bit operating system. Amazing that this still runs. It is complaining that it does not have an internet connection. I didn't bother. We're gonna take this little SanDisk and we're gonna pop that in. And it found something there. It found something ready to use. Let's use it. Samsung data migration setup. Run. Are you sure? English? Yes. Installing. Cool. There is not much to it except the license agreement. There's not much of a choice. Install, and continue and finish. It doesn't feel that slow right now. Samsung. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. We want to move from our old drive and over to our Samsung SSD. So let's continue. Let's hope that it finds everything. It did. Ooh, I was close. 36.2 gigabytes of data is used here on the spinning disk, and that will take up this amount of space on that 250 gigabytes Samsung disk. So yeah, this is too easy. You just press start and it will clone the disk, and well, when that progress bar is done, we can disconnect the hard drive and we can let it boot on that SSD. Yeah, and we should not disconnect while it's doing that. So do wonder what it's doing. It's not doing anything. Oh, now it started over there. Okay, it's 18 megabytes per second. Yeah, this could take a while. If it doesn't, it is ramping up the speed though, so hopefully this will be good. I'm not gonna bother you with this. It's gonna take the time it takes, and it's not a lot of data, so it's not that bad. I really don't brag much, but I would like to point out that I have a lot of features on this year. So they look really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that while copying. Okay, we are at the last little bit, and the speed has climbed up to about 104.5 megabytes per second. So that's awesome. It has taken about 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes probably it's gonna be taking. So yeah, it wasn't bad at all. 99%. The last little percent here is taking a while. Oh, somebody has been installing some kind of weird antivirus program down here. I am surely gonna be removing that. Okay, that's irritating. It failed. And the error code, that is really lacking some information. Okay, so I booted the PC, but I added a detail. I actually disconnected the old hard drive. Even though it failed, it has still cloned the drive. I don't know what part of it failed, because it booted really okay. And just to yeah, let's just pop this over here. Oh, that doesn't pop very well. Yeah, we can see down there that I have disconnected the old hard drive The cables are just laying loose there, kind of, you can see that. So yeah, we are good to go. I'm gonna put the old hard drive down there somewhere, but I'm gonna shut it down right now. Okay, so here is the new drive and here is the old drive. There's a little green thingy that you press down and you pop the old drive out. And I actually think there's a room, maybe there's room for the new drive to just sit right there and then just pop the old drive in on top. I don't want to connect it, but yeah, it's in there. It's not as if nothing bad is gonna happen to it. It looks like it's an old hard drive that is running in there now, but it's really the SSD beneath it. So cool. And I'll pop in this CD-ROM drive again. There is also a slot over here that used to be used for a floppy drive. No one uses that anymore, so yeah, I could also pop it in there. Yeah, it's fine. Then pop the cover on. Let's see, that slides from the back to the front. Oh, that one is bent. Does it? Does that go? Goes in there. Okay, it needs to be bent more. I fixed the network cable out here as well. When I delivered this back, I wanted to have all the newest Windows holes. So it boots Windows 7 considerably faster now. It's still a little bit confused of what is going on, but okay, and it complains that now Windows 7 is not real anymore. Really? Okay, this cost a lot more fiddling around, but I believe I have it now, and I just wanted to show you how fast it is now. I didn't do a comparison, so it's a bit hard to bloody washing machine. It's a bit hard to compare it with anything, and this is still an old dog. So 1, 2, 3 now. So turn it on. Still takes some time, but I'm pretty sure this is better than it was before. First time you turn on the machine, there's all this Hewlett-Packard stuff, and this one, it locks directly into Windows 7. I have bypassed that password thingy, so Danish version of Windows here, and there, we are ready to go. That's gonna be way better than it was. And I'm just gonna clean this a little bit so that it looks nice when I deliver it back. It's a really good idea to keep your mechanic happy. It makes it so much easier when it's your car that is malfunctioning or slow or doing something weird. Well, then help is nearby. Yeah, this was a random weird video just because I had to do this anyway, and I thought it was really amusing that that CPU cooler was all filled up with gunk. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again some other time. Do follow me over at Twitter, where I did post this weeks back. So have a nice day. Bye bye.